keep you on the road back home after the day, and just to ensure that you are safe throughout the weekend. And I hope that you will be, to even watch us later on Monday. However, I want to now cross over to the papers. This is also very important, and I keep saying and reiterating that you can grab a copy of a newspaper and just read through it to get the information of what is going on in the country, the top headlines, and the political, scenario at large. Also, you can just look at it in the digital platform. If it's so difficult, you can go to the joints where people just sell them or give them to hire, and you just have to get a grab of one of these newspapers and have the information. Because I want you to have the information so much, I also have it right here on the Morning Drift. For those who prefer to have this conversation with us, talk to us on Lookup TV, at Lookup TV, across all the social media platforms. Give us your feedback. We're also streaming live on Facebook. Remember, this is not just about the analysis on set. We also want to hear your opinion on some of these headlines this morning. So keep your feedback coming in on Facebook, Lookup TV. However, I would like to officially introduce to you my expert, or of course my political analyst this morning, Mr. Wafula, who will take us through some of these headlines, because we'd love to really hear your opinions on the same. Good morning, sir. It's good to have you.
Thank you for coming here.
Yes. Now, we have 2 copies of the newspaper. Usually I just pick 2 of these, but does not mean that they are more significant than the rest. They're just some of the key players when it comes to newspapers.
Yes.
And today I'll start quickly again with the Standard, which, as usual, has some political aspect, because we are approaching the 2022 elections. So it makes it very, very important to, highlight that we have the political scene taking center stage right here on the Standard. If you can see that on your screen, because I'm about to go in to the topic of discussion. I don't want to take so much in too much time on just showing you this. So we're seeing that we're warming up to each other. That is what Raila and Kalonzo seem to be having on the front page. So Wiper leader Musyoka endorsed to vie for presidency next year in a colorful event that also served to hammer home the point that the country's top political leadership must be ready to hit the negotiating table. We have much more on this on page 6, but you just want to comment on the headline.
Okay.
Yes.
I think what I can say, yesterday event when Kalonzo Musyoka was endorsed as to run for the top seat, it didn't make sense, because whenever I saw Raila Odinga attending the function, he came to steal the show and also to show the people that to some way maybe Kalonzo is working for him. Because, and we are tired of this narrative of people coming together in the name of forming a coalition without a purpose. This is a coalition that is not going to help the country. If you look at our economic status, we are facing a lot of problems, numerous problems. Unemployment rate is high in the country. We are doing nothing to create wealth. And also, we are not improving on how we can increase our GDP. Economic growth, that is. So what I can say, Kalonzo Musyoka has confused Kamba, and what will happen is that he will lose Kamba support. The traditional support that he has enjoyed from Kambani, people are becoming tired of someone assuming to be a community leader when actually it's not serving the interest of people.
All right.
The people of Kambani are interested in someone who will create employment for them, someone who will add value in the leadership. I listened to Kalonzo. He promised people that he's going to create employment. At the same time, he said he's going to cut our tax by a half. Where is he going to get money? We are paddling with the national debt. In fact, Kenya is almost being blacklisted by international agency who are lending money to us. So we need someone who will fix our things. We need to get agriculture, for instance. The commodities that we are able to produce, we can protect. Because why are we allowing people to import cheap sugar, for instance, when we have got sugar industries in our country? So we have to understand how we are going to make our economy yield fruits for the people.
All right. However, what I'm seeing here is a picture of Raila and Kalonzo.
Yes.
You've made a lot more comments about Kalonzo.
Yes.
What then is your opinion on warming up to each other as two political leaders who, when we started the year, there was some, some source of, news information that they were against or would not work together?
Since we started alliances, the alliances that were started by the late Kijana Wamalwa, Mwai Kibaki and Charles Ngilu, it is so sad that Charles Ngilu is also running short of ideas, because when we started alliances, the country has never benefited out of the alliances that we have formed in the past. In fact, what we got out of the alliances is violence and division, because you realize in 2002 we had strong alliance, which fronted Mwai Kibaki as a presidential candidate, and they won. After a few years, there were division. And in fact, in 2007, it resulted in violence. So anybody who is running for the top seat, he should forget about telling people how he's going to work with community leaders. We need people who are going to fix our national problems. We need someone who has an agenda, and an agenda cannot be founded in a group of people. Right. Even Raila Odinga is selling to us Azimio la Umoja. If you ask me, this country does not, we are enjoying peace.
All right.
We don't have division in the country. What we have is the divisive politics, which is played by them.
All right.
So for them to aspire for Azimio la Umoja, for instance, it does not represent economic growth or economic plan.
All right.
Then I have seen also on the newspaper Chief Justice from the current Chief Justice trying to.
We are coming on her story because she's actually made headlines.
Yes.
But before we do that, on the same page 6, there is a headline that you've mentioned some violence every time we have elections. We see that the ICC case is it's resurfacing, because on page 6 we're seeing poll chaos, and witness in Ruto ICC case at The Hague is missing.
Yes.
Now, I'll just read a bit of that. A critical witness who was to testify against Deputy President William Ruto's alleged involvement in the 2007-2008 post-election violence in Tarbo cannot be traced. Now, International Criminal Court ICC prosecutor had intended to rely on this witness, this particular witness, in the case against lawyer Paul Gisheru. We might not read the entire thing, but you have something to say on this particular headline again this morning, in relation, of course, to the polls.
Yes.
Yes.
About the ICC case, I think what I can say, we cannot talk about violence or a pursuit of justice in the International Criminal Court by targeting one person. I say so because Ocampo 6, where are they? They were left scot-free, or there were no evidence.
Yes, there was no evidence. That's what we got. And
that is what we say, because even William Ruto, his case was suspended on the same basis. So what we are trying to say, if we want to have a peaceful country, the best thing we can do is to have a just election.
All right.
Free and fair election. Because we cannot talk about even the United States. They are enjoying peace and they are united because of free and fair election. You cannot plan to rig election and start talking about unity of the country, because what makes people start engaging in civil disobedience is this kind of election.
All right.
I have never had any place on an equitable distribution of national resources, because that is what it means by economy. You cannot have an economy, the economic growth of a country, when you are concentrating resources, for instance, in Nairobi, and that the people who are living in Garissa, you left their land idle. That is what has cost our country. And that the divisive politics, tribal politics, tribal mobilization, that is what is causing us more problems.
All right. Okay. You have
Okay.
touched on the now new CJ
Yes.
Kome's, situation, and of course that's true. It is on page 10 of the Standard, which I will show you in a bit. And the headline that, of course, is on the front page is that
Yes.
CJ Kome tells off Ruto allies over polls team. Now, yesterday in our review, we saw headlines of
Yes.
Ruto telling off Kome and Ruto's allies telling off, of course, the CJ Kome to just stay off politics. And we had some very strong sentiments yesterday. I would like to hear your sentiments because, again, we are seeing her making headlines, but now on page 10 of the Standard,
Yes.
it is the CJ, telling off Ruto allies over the polls team. I don't know what you have to say.
I think the Chief Justice should stop engaging into petty politics because that is petty politics. It doesn't add value to her as the Chief Justice of the country. What I can say, the Deputy President is right because if the Chief Justice, if whatever they are trying to do in preparation for election, someone else can go to court to challenge this, the same arrangement.
Okay.
Even me, I can go to court tomorrow. What will the Chief Justice do if he was part of the team? So in that case, the Chief Justice is not recognizing that our courts are the final arbiter we have in the country.
All right.
And at the same time, he is not quoting any law. He is just responding as a politician. That is making reckless sentiment.
So
and I
now
don't think.
what you're saying is
in fact,
she's
has
now-
started another. She wants us to start another conversation, which about petitioning the president to remove her in office. President Uhuru Kenyatta may not remove her, but the incoming president will actually get her out of office because of these silly mistakes.
Okay.
As a judge, he need to. Our constitution are very clear. Our election laws are very clear. There is nowhere in that laws or in the constitution which says the Chief Justice will get involved in internal operation of IBC, for instance,
okay.
or any party. So he cannot say that he is an agent of judiciary. We have got the Law Society of Kenya. Those are people who are supposed to be involved in such a kind of arrangement
All right.
because they don't make any determination in regards to anything to do in the
Or
court.
the results.
Yes.
Okay, now you seem to be sharing sentiments with a lot more people. Let us also know if you're watching and following this conversation on the review, do you agree with the sentiments of my political analyst this morning, Mr. Wafula, on the headlines? If you don't, let us also know what your opinions are on, the CJ being involved in matters politics, or now the defiance of different political parties and the engagement of Kalonzo Musyoka and Honorable Raila Odinga, again saying they could work together. Please talk to me on our live stream on Facebook, Look Up TV. Now let's take a look at the pandemic. It's
Yes.
also making headlines. We will, of course, close this in a bit and just cross over to the nation. But on the page 12 of the Standard, we see the vaccination. Continuing, and now we have also seen on page 17, which I will also show you in a bit, the same thing about COVID-19. Some people are asking, is it time to start vaccinating teens against COVID-19? But what I want to focus on is parents to give permission before children receive COVID-19 vaccine. And just to read a bit of it, even though data reveals how infections and mortality rates in children, experts maintain that minors are susceptible to the virus and are capable of infecting adults. Now, vaccinated children develop strong immune responses to COVID-19, which means fewer will get the disease. I want to understand, because now there's the new directive that if you're not vaccinated, public services might not be availed to you. What are your comments on this headline today?
I don't think it is right for us to start vaccinating children.
All right.
Because I was listening yesterday, but when I was listening to certain doctor who was talking about on how having natural immune is very important than getting even vaccinated.
All
if
right.
you're able to buy fruits, if you're able to boost your immune system, then it is nonsensical for you even to try and get vaccinated. So this the issue around COVID-19 pandemic is still something that we don't have a clear research about it.
Really, it's been
Because people have researched, people have given different, given in different what we call result or the direction.
Research around it.
Yes.
Yes.
And we don't have clear results which say that once you are vaccinated, you won't get COVID-19.
I think I've just mentioned you have talked about that, but I think even when you're vaccinated, you're still encouraged to, follow closely the measures put in place.
But in Kenya, COVID-19 is not a problem. We are just making it look like it's a problem, but it's not a problem to our country. Because even the kind of reports we have been getting, they are just false reports.
Oh, that is what you say?
Yes, that one, what I can say confidently.
Okay.
Because I live in Nairobi. I believe Nairobi could be the most affected part of the country. So
well, it has one of the highest numbers.
Yes, it has highest numbers, but those numbers are cooked. And we were told even the normal flu, when you have the normal flu and test COVID, you will get positive results.
Okay. Okay.
And that, a flu is a virus. So even the testing of COVID-19, we don't have accurate apparatus to test. So we cannot start talking about something that we don't know. Let our children be. Let us vaccinate the old people. In fact, the old.
All right. Okay.
Because the youngest person of my age, he just need to improve the immune system. Yes.
Okay. Let's touch on security matters and just quick so that we can go into this because we have very few minutes left.
Yes.
Page 4 of the Standard, I cannot pass that because this also made headlines yesterday. It looks like this story keeps making headlines. Yes. The judge has now asked Kinoti, of course, the DCI boss, to report to prison and serve his sentence. Now, the DCI boss has, for the second time, failed to get orders suspending his sentence, and court will on Monday again rule on the same application. This is a story you just want to comment on real quick as we look at, because some of these stories are also featured on the Daily Nation, so we might not dwell so much.
I don't know why, in fact, he is in office, because if the head of state respects the constitution and the rule of law, he need to get this person out of the office.
Okay.
2, Kenyans must protect the constitution and the judiciary. This means whenever we see Kinoti somewhere, people need to either arrest him or stone him, because he is a criminal.
Okay.
Because unless we do something outrageously, these people are not going to change. If you disregard the court order, who are you? Whom are you serving? Because the court is what gives people right. The court is what protects you, even it protects the office of Kinoti. So Kinoti needs to submit himself in prison, or Kenyans to act. They need to arrest him and force him to go to jail. He cannot run away from justice just because he has an office that was given by the president.
Very, very, very strong sentiments there on Kinoti's case. Of course, there's something you mentioned there that I would not really comment on, but Kenyans have heard you. So just let us know what your opinions are as well. We just want to wrap up the review real quick because of time. It's still, as you can see on the Daily Nation, same things. It is the coalition, Raila and Oka, which we already commented on. We discussed it already. And we just want to, flip through, and that's the Daily Nation. Those are the headlines real quick. Again, Ruto has pledged, it's still politics when you look at page number 5 of the Daily Nation. Page number 4 of the Daily Nation is still the same coalition, talk about the ex-NASA principles. So a lot of the Daily Nation is just echoing what the Standard has touched on. On page number 6, as compared to page number 4 of the Standard, now for the Daily Nation at number 6, you still get the discussion about Kinoti, who now gets global post as the court insists on jail term. I mean, these are things that you need to grab a copy, and what we're seeing on this particular newspapers is politics, except for the pullouts, which are, of course, touching on businesses and counties on either of these newspapers respectively. So I think it's okay.
But if you allow me to make comments on, because today newspaper it has been all about politics.
Yes.
I want to tell Kenyans that this is the right time. We are going to a transition. They have got all the powers to make choice and to use the government that really serve them.
All right.
There are so many presidential candidates who have presented there, who have said they are running. One of them is Dr. Muhisa Kitui. I will only name the most competent, whom I think.
The one you, because that is...
Dr. Muhisa Kitui, there is Musalia Mudavadi, there is Raila Odinga, William Ruto. We want to cage these people. We want to have someone who is competent, someone who understands what we call economic factors, someone who will fix our problems. But we are not going to elect someone just because he is older or he has served the government, he has been a politician, an old politician, for instance.
Okay.
And we have to forget about useless narrative. Narrative of someone telling you, I will reduce tax, I will create employment, just making plain words, how to call
false promises, or is it empty promises? That's
just
what you call them.
Promises. So there is Dr. Muhisa Kitui, and I believe that is the man, because that man has what it takes to lead the country. He understands what needs to be done to our economy. Azimio la Umoja, it is not going to create employment. It is not going to end divisive politics. And the perpetrators who the cause of violence in 2017 election was rigging of election.
Okay.
Where Raila Odinga was a victim. He need to tell Martha Koome to get out of the election preparedness so that he become an arbiter.
Okay.
Eventually, when people will be filing case in the court.
All right.
Yes.
So what you have given are your last remarks on the, the summary of the newspaper review. And of course, I hope that you are following closely that newspaper review with Mr. Wafula here. And of course, just to read a bit of your feedback on the same, I can see here Edwin Kipirui, thank you so much for watching. Your sentiments, of course, Ivy Mwangi, good morning. I can see you there and you're following closely on the conversation. Keep talking to us on Lookup TV, on Facebook, we're streaming live, and also on Twitter at Lookup TV. I'll be able to sample your feedback as we continue. However, allow me to release my guests.
Okay.
We hope to have you again very soon for another, insightful discussion like we have had today on the matters that concern Kenya.
I'll be very grateful.
Yes.
Thank you.
Karibu sana. I want to take a short breather, but today is Friday, and now that we've looked at a bit of what's going on in the news updates, the political analysis, the review, I want to start the show now officially. That is what I call it, starting and kicking off the weekend. And this is where we look forward to our Sana Chat, where we want to talk about in our Sana Chat, which is now our big conversation today, issues that affect the entertainment industry. And our main focus today is music with an impact. Are Kenyans just making music that is entertaining, that are, have a great, movement or beats to it, but what does that music then do to the society? Does it impact our lives? Does it change our generations for the better? Are we using music in any way that will, of course, make this country a better place? What are we doing with our music? Are our industry, contributors doing anything different that can put the entertainment industry in a particular map globally? That is a question that I ask myself, and I ask you this morning. Let me know your feedback on our music, production in the country. For a while there was a hashtag promote Kenyan music. It was a few years ago or a year ago, and Kenyans were questioning, why should we even play our own music? What is the impact? What is the different thing that our artists are doing? So as we prepare for the Sana Chat, please talk to me, Lookup TV on Facebook, and let me know which is your favorite artist and why, which is the lyrics that has changed your life or your mindset. And also we'll bring in an artist who's doing amazing things with the music. And before that, I just want to let this go to Kasembele, who is our DJ. There's a way he calls himself as a DJ. I will learn that with time. But take the music, into your living room, move with it. I will also move in studio as we begin now the Entertainment Friday officially. Good morning. This is hashtag The Morning Drift.